Haven, Pat, 57 degrees, but it is pretty gusty up to the usual group for Andy Shea this year. But good news for the Bulldogs is that Carson Kuhl is back dressed today. Brad Sharp, hands free, and Nust makes the stop. So a shot from the outside, and Nust makes his first save.
Great look from Sharp there. Defender falls down, and he just steps in, tries to get Nust moving, but Nust seeing the ball very well there.
Hugh Conrad has started every game in goal for Yale this year, but he'll have his biggest test today.
Him off because the most dynamic scorer cannot get that open at point-blank range against this Yale defense, and it's going to be a challenge for this Yale team. Right now, you're looking at a Cornell offense that's got the attack that has 115 starts under their belt. This starting Yale defense, 5. So it's going to be a big challenge for these guys.
CJ Kirst with his 29th goal of the season already, his 194th.
But Cornell's able to come out with it. Cornell.
Just under 3 minutes into this game with the ball once again. Has the assist on the Kirst.
I just don't know how at this point you can't let him, and I want to say you can't let him get free, but he's got 2 guys on him there and still able to a little around the world shot and beat that past Conrad.
Look, games are obviously not played on paper, but if you looked on paper, you saw the guy that leads the country in goals and the guy that leads the Big Red, dating all the way back to 2020. Low pass gets away. Goldstein runs it down. 3 goals on 3 shots on goal so far for Cornell. Brian Luzzy moves in with it. Defended by Christian Johnson, and now it's Kirst. Late shot clock. Double comes. Kirst got to get rid of it. 5 seconds. Goldstein up top. Long walks into it, and once again. Here's Carson Kuhl. Missed the last couple games. Back in there today for the Bulldogs. That's a big add to the attack unit. Finds Lyons, but it was past him, and it's picked up by Luke Gilmartin for the Big Red.
Big ground ball there.
Gilmartin, coast to coast. Conrad the save. Kirst the rebound. And he's got 4. Now Leo Johnson. Yale's found some openings in the Cornell defense to this point. And they've been scoring a lot more goals over the last 2 games. Trying to continue that today. Brad Sharp. Full head of steam got turned back now.
This is just a really dominant team. You'd love to see them improve a little bit at the faceoff X. They've been solid, but really kind of take that next level.
5-2 start here in New Haven today. Hugh Kelleher 1 point away from 100 in his career. Turns it up top for Andrew Dalton. Firth. And Goldstein swings it along. Anderson, but a flag. Lyons got hit after the whistle, but Anderson's going to be sent off here. And the first extra man opportunity of the game is going to go to the Big Red. Just to finish that point before we get this call, you know, you wonder if maybe it plays a little more towards Yale's favor to play a team like Cornell that is so good offensively, but not known for its defense as much, and it creates a more open style of play.
Yeah, shot around the defenseman, reaches around, and then bounce shot to the high corner.
That's unbelievable. And again, he came into the day leading the country in goals, but his season high for 1 game is 6, and he has 5 with 3:58 to go in the first quarter. His times per game in the country. Bulldogs so far with 7 shots all on goal, and I know that's something you felt like was key coming into today, efficiency with their shots.
It's been something that Yale struggled with. Looking at that game against Harvard last week, they had the shots, they had a lot of looks, but they were just off cage, and if you can't put them on cage, you're not going to be able to keep up with these offenses in the Ivy League this year. A couple of calls that maybe haven't gone Yale's way.
Cornell can hold for the last shot of the first quarter if it wants to. And offside called here against the Big Red, so they turn it over. And now Yale's got an opportunity with about a half minute to play. Max Krevsky, the Yale captain, gets his hands free, finds an open Anderson, who scores. One more face-off, Rodriguez has it. 5 seconds to go here. Johnson throws it towards the net. Nust makes the stop, and the first quarter is over. How about that for 15 minutes of lacrosse? 11 goals in the first, 7 of them belong to Cornell, and they lead by 3.
This letter is for you.
Lead after 1 quarter of play, and the Big Red coming in ranked 4th in the country and right now.
Yeah, if you look at how this is moving down, who's been doing a really great job of getting down for it, but gets a piece just enough, and then you see the backspin taking it into the net.
3rd multi-point game of the year for Krevsky. Leo Johnson gets his 2nd assist, and it's 7-5, less than a minute into the 2nd quarter, and what feels like is going to be a track meet all afternoon. Cascadin wins this one clean. Gives it up quickly. Long, down low, quick shot of it. Long has it. Conrad's out of the net, but gets back in there. 25 to shoot for Cornell. Long below the goal line. Defended by Stuzen, and Conrad made a good stop. 6 saves for Hugh Conrad.
And that's a great clear there by Mahalik. One of the things that's definitely challenging when you have
once in the regular season and once in the Ivy League tournament. Cornell is the 3-time reigning Ivy League regular season champion. Missed the NCAA tournament last year despite being the #1 seed and hosting the Ivy League tournament. They were upset by Penn in the first round. Yale lost to Princeton in the first round of the Ivy League tournament. Goldstein finds a man. Good double from the Yale defense, somehow efficient so far today. 15 combined goals and only 7 turnovers between the two. And it is a full house at Reese Stadium. The Yale fans starting to feel the momentum.
Well, you're hearing the Cornell fans making the chant to try to get their team fired up.
Waymeyer wins the faceoff. The first year makes an impact, got it jarred loose. And did Andy Shea get a timeout here? Question for anybody watching is, like, obviously the guy's great, he's the best player in the country, but why is he so open so much?
Because the rest of the team is really good too. You cannot leave a shooter wide open, so you have to slide away from them. I'm very curious. You think back a couple of years, Jeff Teeth playing for Cornell, one of the strategies that everybody used was lock him off. Lock off Jeff Teeth. And that was one of the only areas that was really successful for.
Busic's going to take a timeout here with 8:28 to go in the 2nd quarter. Boy, has this been fun. 9-7, Big Red on top. To a 1-goal game. They've had a really balanced attack so far today. Brad Sharp spins, Lions. He shoots and scores. Moynihan for Lions. Yale with a chance to tie here. Lions fires, and Nust makes the save. Rebound loose in front. Moynihan lost his stick, and it's going to be Cornell ball. Moynihan was trying to shoot, and he ended up throwing the stick farther than the ball, and Cornell gets a much-needed stop.
It happens.
3, and he's on the field for the first time today.
Yeah, you see him right now, he's on the outside, and you'll expect Yale rotate the ball, rotate their guys, create a little rotation, and send him inside because he's that inside finisher.
And get it moving around to Sharp. Now Lions. Another chance to tie here for the Bulldogs. Krevsky to the top. Lions.
We can do this. You don't ever want to let an underdog hang around, and that's what would be happening.
Here's Andrew Dalton. Now Michael Long. 4-2 Yale to score in the 2nd quarter, and Long puts Cornell back up 2. 3rd point, 1st goal today for Michael Long. And it's 10 after a little bit of a slow start to things. The Big Red trying to, keep their momentum going after that huge win against Princeton at home last weekend. But, if you're Yale and you could pick off a top 5 win today, get back to 500 in the Ivy League, you'd be feeling pretty good about yourself.
In close enough. I would have loved to seen him just go straight to the goal and try to beat Nuss with a quick shot as opposed to a hard shot.
Leo Johnson takes the shot, and that didn't make it in there. Loose ball here. Hugh Conrad has stopped 7 today, but he's seen 11 go past him. Rodriguez was getting just mauled there, but they're going to call him for the hold, actually. And it's Cornell ball again.
Well, and it's interesting that, you saw Coach Busick before pulling the officials aside and start being in their ear about things on the after some face-offs. So probably
battle so hard to get back in a game and never actually tie it. Sometimes the air can come out of the balloon a little bit. And Cornell has taken a firm grasp back here late in the second.
And the other thing is that you're seeing Cascadin kind of tipping the scales with those face-offs. These are two guys that have been really evenly matched, just over 50% out of both of them, and he's won a couple in a row, and that has really created possession for Cornell. And Yale middies are having success dodging and drawing slides.
For Yale, it was a goal and 2 assists for Johnson, a hat trick for Anderson, a goal and 2 assists for Krevsky to lead the way. It's interesting because obviously there were 20 goals scored, but I think we both feel like both goalies were pretty good.
Yeah, they had some big both.
Extra man today as we begin the second half. 12-8 Cornell lead. Kirst with the 8 goals to lead the way. Goldstein across, CJ Kirst, good look down low for Firth. Still plenty of time on this extra man. Willem Firth, Goldstein, top side, and that hit the side of the net, and Yale picks up the ground ball.
He was very frustrated that he didn't get that ball.
So our first face-off now of the second half, and remember, Cascadin, as you said, kind of tipped the scales on these at the end of the first half. This one's a loose ball. It's been in a couple sticks so far, and it's picked up by Yale. Big play,
ball.
Christian Johnson.
Christian Johnson.
Just giving your defense the time to rest is valuable, even if you don't end up scoring on the possession.
Well, like we were saying before, if you're holding that ball and just not...
Open man in front, and there's Kelleher's 100th career point as he assists on Willem Firth's goal.
Willem Firth had some hops there, jumping up to get that hop.
Leo Johnson gets the pick. Look at that defense. A turnover just forced by the physicality of Charlie Box.
Charlie Box just got nice and low and drove through, forcing out.
First, break the Cornell career goal scoring record in their last game against Princeton. He also reached 50 career caused turnovers.
And an offside, Yale has too many guys out there, so they're going to go man down. You just have to make sure that you just don't give up one here.
The Big Red have possession back. Situation is quite unsettled. Kelleher fires, stopped again. Hugh Conrad comes up big twice for Yale.
Big save by Conrad, but you're still down a man for 10 seconds here.
Can Yale complete the stop? Kelleher missed wide. 1 second left on the slot. So you only play 6 games, so obviously everyone's important. And in this one so far, Pat, it was a big Cornell run to start the game, a big Yale stretch in the middle, and from the end of the second quarter into the third now, it's been all Cornell again.
This Cornell offense just showing all the potent scorers that they have, and they've done a lot of driving.
From UAlbany on March 8th scored 9 goals against Hobart, and now CJ Kirst has 9 today. Push here against Rodriguez, Cornell ball again. Another shot, and Conrad stops it. I know we keep saying this, but Conrad man is Danny Cadigan. Second of the season, and this is the largest lead of the day for Cornell.
And that's the difference.
Could not have drawn up the first minute of this quarter any better for Cornell, frankly. Back to even strength, and the delayed flag coming up.
And at this point, Cornell just content to slow down.
The Bulldogs.
And at this point, Coach Shea making a change at goal. Going to send Jared Paquette out there.
So Conrad's day comes to an end. 13 saves, but gave up the 18. And it happened 3 weeks in a row when Notre Dame lost, as Lyons picks his corner and scores. Chris Lyons, another tremendous shot to give him a hat trick today.
Lyons, nobody steps to him. He just gets his hands free, and he just picks that top corner against Nust. If he's at 5.
Big face-off here. Cascadin pops it up in the air, and it ends up with, guess who? C.J. Kirst. 9 goals today for Kirst to match the most in a game in the country this year. Goldstein with 8 assists to match the most in a game this year. Good offensive performance. But now they've come to life a little bit in the fourth quarter. Time running low. Is there enough time to make something happen here?
You talked about it. You brought it up to me that looking at those first 3 games versus the next 2 of that increase on that offensive output, when they had some good looks, missing the net, and that has been the story for them. If they can put together a full game, they can beat anybody. This was a 1-goal game at the half, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who have been, because Yale is not winning, have been saying just number 1 guy drawing all the attention, and you're still able to produce. That says what a great player he is.
Yale will be back here for Brown next Saturday. Cornell will be home to take on Penn. For now.